Okay, thank you so much for inviting me. Um, yeah, as this said, I'm Manakamana Khanal. I was in the School of Pharmacy, Pokhara University, from 2003 to 2007, and currently I'm working at NCI. It's the National Cancer Institute in Maryland, USA. So, as I was invited to talk about career development, I believe, and so I'm gonna focus my talk today in the career in research and what opportunities one can get. I'm gonna proceed to my next slide. So today I'm gonna talk first about myself, of course, and my career path from Pokhara University to NCI, and I will talk a little bit more about career development plan, goal, and objectives. And the third will be a research scientist as a career option for pharmacists. And I will talk more about, not more, but some about the NIH as a platform for the researcher like me, and some concluding remarks. So about myself, as I mentioned earlier, I graduated from Pokhara University in 2007. But due to some interruption, I guess, in the exams and so on, the actual year that I graduated was 2008. So from 2008 till 2009, before I start my master's, I was working as a production pharmacist in industry for 14 months. So during this period, I gave myself exactly what I wanted to do in future. So I had an interest in research, but I wasn't aware what exactly the research would be, and what kind of the roles and the jobs will be there in the Nepal during that year. So just to explore more about other options as well, like industry or the hospital and so on, I started my first job as I haven't mentioned here, but I started my first job as a pharmacist in a drugstore. But since like a day one, I wasn't that happy, and I realized that it was not for me, because I was only like kind of signing one paper that is a prescription and doing nothing else. So I quit that job, and I started looking for the jobs at Kathmandu Valley. So I got one so I started as a production pharmacist in industry. So I was there for 14 months. So during that period, I was pretty sure that this is not for me. So here I have written as a self-assessment phase 1, because you have to, during your career development, you have to do some kind of self-assessment, what exactly you want to do, what you are good at, what is your like weakness and stuff like that. So during that 14 months, I was like evaluating myself, what I really wanted to do in future. So at that time, I was not interested, of course, in the industry pharmacy at that point of time. So I was looking for, as I had some kind of a soft corner for the research field. So I started to look for a master's program abroad, and also was trying to figure out what I can do in Nepal as well, the master's courses in the Nepal as well. This phase, I kind of earned some money, I would say. I had some good saving. So I started to do some IELTS course, or go to the internet. That those days we didn't have internet at home like today. So go to the internet. I don't know how to say that. Cyber cafe or so, the Kathmandu, and try to search for the master's program that I really really interest on me. So then I succeed somehow, I would say, and I end up doing a master's. I end up being selected in one of the prestigious European master program It was a Erasmus Mundus program, and the master program was about the chemistry, advanced spectroscopy in chemistry. So why I chose this program was because I wanted to develop my career in the drug development field, or medicinal chemistry field. So that was a perfect search and or the perfect fit kind of master program for me at that time. So now the journey starts from here. So in the 2009, I was in France doing for 1 year doing my first year of master's. So that period again, I would say like I had a self-assessment again. I would say like kind of phase 2 self-assessment going on my mind, like what I exactly wanted to do with this master program in the future. So I mean, without being so much serious, I started to explore other career as well, the possible career that I can, and blended with the new environment. I had friends, I had a lot of people to talk about different careers. In the second year, I went to the University of Helsinki because they have a best program for the medicinal chemistry. Yes, for the 6 months I was there, it was pretty cold, snowing all the time, and yeah, the university was awesome, and I got what I wanted to get from there. So after that, I returned back to the France and did my final master project there. And during that phase, now I mean during my self-assessment, kind of analysis, I really wanted to do pursue the PhD. So then again the started to look for the PhD program and talk with the people, talk with my supervisor, and so on, applying, giving the interviews, and so on. So after that, I was pretty lucky to get one very good the PhD program during the same year. So I completed my PhD program in Biomedical Engineering in 2014 from University Lille 1. And my lab was actually in one of the most sophisticated research institute of France, that was the CNRS. So after there, now what I wanted to do with my PhD, that is again like I started to think about. So I was pretty clear in my mind that I wanted to go to the academic field, and so that's why it is most important to do a postdoctoral training. So anyway, the bottom line of this slide is the self-realization that the real research career begins only after the PhD, right? Then after that, I went to University of Connecticut Health in Connecticut, USA, and that project was actually funded by NIH. And during this a very short postdoctoral period, I was working I had a exposure to the translational research. I started to know the strength of networking, how to like kind of explore more the other areas, other translational research areas, and so on. I participate in a lot of meetings, a lot of postdoctoral association, internal meetings and external as well. So yeah, so that was a pretty good experience. And then after I would say not after, but during that period from 2016 to 2017, I had a very important event happened in my life, that my son was born. So yeah, so before I gave birth to my son, I was still busy in exploring other opportunities, applying and giving interviews as well. Because okay, I was kind of happy with the training that I got at the University of Connecticut Health, but I was I would say like kind of greedy. I wanted more. I want to explore more. So during that, phase of exploring and applying and so on, I got an opportunity. I got selected at NCI. So yes, right after I gave birth to my son, yeah, it was hectic, I would say, but wasn't that impossible to conduct a very new to explore a very new research field at NCI. So far, I would say that being at NCI was an awesome experience, and I'm very proud to be a part of the translational clinical research that are carried out in the clinical center of NCI. And yes, of course, during this phase, and what about after the postdoc? So again, I am still like going on about my self-assessment phase 4. So during this 2000 March 2017 till date, I'm like slowly learning to like being learning how to maintain uh, my personal life and the research career as well, which is, I guess, a very important for a woman, right? So that was about my career path till that, starting from Pokhara University to the NCI. So after that, I would like to talk a little bit more about the career development, because I believe this session is about that, right? So career development is a huge topic, I would say, and it's a full credit course. So I couldn't I'm kind of advocate that there must be 1 or 2 sessions each year targeting both fresher and to be graduate about the career development. So what exactly is the career development? It is actually a lifelong process of managing learning, work, leisure, and the transition in order to move forward a personally determined and evolving preferred future. So what can be done to improve your career today? Like as you said, most of you are a final year pharmacy student. Yes, I had listed a few of things, like started to get started to set a small goal regularly and stretch yourself. It means that try to explore what careers are there, what career options you can find that interest you most, and what is like kind of good fit for you on what you are good on and what you love to do in future, and to try to get the feedback from your friends, either from your friends or teachers or your seniors and so on. And talk about your career goals as well with them. Be curious about now, yeah, here is kind of industry, but be curious about what you are doing, like, you know, so on. Read about new things, try to build a network. Networking can be built either by attending the meeting like this, or trying to be. You can build a network by attending some other symposia, or you're connecting with your seniors, or so on. And actually, the networking is a key to be like, to be in a place where you really wanted to be in future. And always, it's a really a good only a good mentor can only guide you to the career that you really wanted to be in the future. So get a mentor that who can understand you, your career goal, your strength, your weakness, and so on. And always be listening, always listen, try to gather the information around you. Here I like this slide, because it has like kind of personal preferences. So there might be something that pays really well, kind of job that pays really well, and there is a job maybe that you are good at, and there might be one that you really loved, but you can see that if you are ended up with a job that you are good at, and that job you really love is like you are happy, but you are poor because you are not earning more. And to be practical, one needs the money as well, right? So and there is another aspect, that the job that pays really well, and the job you really want it, you really love to do, but then it means that it's you are rich but you are bored at one point of time, and maybe you don't want this kind of career in the future. And likewise, there might be a job that pays really well, and that kind of job you are good to do, you know, you have all those skill sets and so on, and you are really good to perform that kind of job. So it means that it's kind of just a dream. It really it's kind of rare, you know, rare combination. But if everything is like over there, then it's kind of win-win situation, and it happens. It's kind of rare combination. So but yeah, but if you, there is kind of a dream job, you can do it, you dream of about, and you don't have the skill set to do that. But since you are just kind of big starting your career, you can attend some kind of symposia, you can go to the training or something like that to earn all those skill sets, and be prepared to do that kind of job. All right, so the next slide is about the research at NCI, and National Cancer Institute. So this is a picture of NIH campus. As you can see that it is located in Bethesda, Maryland, in USA, and you can see all this area and all this building and facilities. It belongs to NIH campus, and this one is a clinical center. And most of the labs, I would say, belonging to the National Cancer Institute are also in this building. And this is all the clinical center where a lot of clinical trials happens, right? And there, I mean, it's pretty difficult to see other building as well. I can see that this one is a vaccine center. Maybe you guys may know about Dr. Anthony Fauci. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who is like kind of giving all the time the briefing about the COVID-19 status in United States. So NIH is a primary agency of the United States government, which is responsible for the biomedical and public health research. This institute has 1,200 principal investigators and more than 4,000 postdoctoral fellows in basic, translational, and the clinical research. So it means it makes up like the NIH being the largest biomedical research institute in the whole world. Okay, so it means that the working at NIH is like to be in one of the top-notch research institute. In the NIH, the postdoctoral fellow and the other staff scientist and all the principal investigator has a has a facility to kind of collaborate with the other top researcher and top scientist who works at NIH. So even for me, for my project, if I wanted to add something, or I wanted to have some collaboration, which is mostly related to my research, so then I can just go to their office and talk about my research and ask the help with them, ask to collaborate with them, and they're always ready to help you. And this research institute has a lot of facilities, a lot of high-tech instruments that a rare kind of instrument also you can find in the campus that you have an access as a postdoctoral fellow. So they pay really well at NIH. I would say a best research institute to do a postdoctoral training. And get paid really nice as a postdoc, and they really care about their postdoctoral fellow. They offer a free career development course, free trainings. For instance, if in my research I have to use a flow cytometry, which I had never used before, for instance, then they allow the postdoc to do that training for the free of cost. Not only the flow cytometry, you can choose any other course that is happening in the campus, and it is all, it's all free, and you always have a career assessment or career evaluation going on every year with the department, and every week or every month with your principal, with your supervisor, and so on. So you are free to do, as a researcher, you are free to do whatever you want, but that has to be a rational one. Then there is no limitation of the budget, as far as I know, and there is no limitation of doing a collaborative work. Everyone is ready to help you. Yes, and also as I have seen a lot of graduate students as well, who are doing their PhD doctorate thesis in NIH, and those graduate students were kind of affiliated to the other university, for instance, like University of Maryland or Johns Hopkins University, and so on. So it means that it is not only for to expand the career for the postdoctoral fellow, but also for the grad student. And also not only that, the NIH and NCI offers a huge internship, large number of internship program for the high school student, for the undergrad student. There are a lot of postdoc also happens at NCI, so it's not only for the postdoc but for other as well. And that's it. That's it for today.